today about the reacting to how the James Harden cycle always repeats. Hey man, it seems like he's been on almost all the teams in the NBA, if not all, maybe half, if not half, majority. But let's get straight to it.
And as time went on and free agency and things like that started to go on, it was like, well, I felt like we didn't have a chance, And so, as much as I love the city of Houston, love being there, I think at the point of my career, it's not about money, it's not about anything else, but having a chance of reaching the ultimate goal is, it's the winning.
So you gonna bunny hop teams. Well, like when they popping, you gonna bunny hop to them. But when they dry up, hey, y'all figure it out. Hey, I guess.
Highest level.
Over this past week, we've seen a lot of moves during this very strange trade deadline. But the obvious biggest needle mover for this year specifically is James Harden going to Cleveland, one of the most random trades that I can remember. Now, this was surprising yet exciting because the East looks way stronger than it did just 1 week ago. In fact, as soon as they got James Harden, they instantly turned into Eastern Conference favorites. Only 2 games in, James Harden has blended in seamlessly, and the way he elevates every big he plays with is truly something special to watch. But this right here is the cycle, the James Harden cycle. A vet who's most definitely seen the business side of the NBA and now has become an absolute master at using his leverage to dictate his future. And sometimes it backfires. James and the Clippers mutually parted ways, with both sides clearly going in
But
different...
let's be real though, it was destined to happen. Him leaving the Clippers, that was destined to happen. Like, bro, they didn't really have nobody but what, Kawhi maybe. And Kawhi was barely there. They had Paul George once upon a time, I believe. Paul George was barely there. Basically, the whole is you was better off staying in Houston. Like you was better with the Houston team than you had with the Clippers, even though he came from Brooklyn or something. See, it gets confusing, bro.
As we can see already, Harden instantly makes the Cavaliers a much more dangerous team, simply because he's the bigger, better, healthier point guard that, to me, can do everything Darius does at a much more elite level. Also, financially for Cleveland, they're temporarily under that second apron, and they have way more flexibility with an older James Harden seeking a shorter deal. So yes, this move makes so much sense, and it's honestly great for the NBA, but it also continues this odd James Harden cycle.
If you saw the news, but Fox News is claiming President Trump is declining in the polls. And President Trump responded, says Fox.
Now, this video is in no way to bash James Harden. I'm honestly very happy it happened, and again, it's great for the NBA. But a Hall of Fame player that's as great as James Harden is even to this day, he's been traded 4 times in the last 6 years.
4 times, so is it like 23 teams? So he didn't even get traded that much. I thought he was just like hopping around like that, like Dennis Scrotum or whatever his name is.
For as long as he's been in the NBA, James Harden has never even touched free agency. Some kid someday is going to look at James Harden's basketball reference page and be confused because it makes absolutely no sense. And if you look at how every situation has gone down for the most part, it always goes back to him flexing that leverage while he has it. Now, this is why I say you really can't be too mad at James Harden, because honestly, look at how this man's career even started.
James was the first draft pick in the history of this franchise. At the same time, you have to do the right thing for the program, but we always want to be transparent and upfront with the players. For us, as an organization.
Draft pick. Did Oklahoma always have a team? Because I know Seattle Supersonics. Hold on. How long has Oklahoma been a team? I'm drawing a blank right now, but I don't think they was the Supersonics. If they was, let me know. I could be tripping though.
We wish him the best.
OKC having one of the most infamous Big 3 breakups ever, simply because they didn't want to go into the luxury tax to pay James Harden. This is why I say James has seen the business side of the NBA.
I get that, but you still have to have a level of professionalism and show up to work.
Honey buns,
and when
boy.
you do show up to work,
that boy put on some weight, didn't he? Boy.
Show up looking like me.
When James Harden left Houston, and specifically the way James Harden left Houston, this seemed to be the beginning of him really hurting his reputation. But to his credit, this time it wasn't financial. This one was all legacy. How exactly do we know? Well, James Harden turned down this contract that would have made him the first $50 million annual man. The whole Brooklyn saga is something that I'll never really put on Harden. Why? Well, because that team was like a mini circus before he even got there, And they became like the ultimate circus after he left.
You ever imagined by the time you came back that Kevin would be done?
Forehead on him, don't it?
Just have to leave for no reason.
But this is where James Harden, always using that leverage, actually backfired on him. And why it might look like now he's always chasing money. Going into that 2021 offseason, James pretty much had all the leverage with Brooklyn. We know this man is like
he chasing money. I feel like it looked like he chasing a ring more than he chasing money. Gotta think about it. Like you said, he gave up the chance to be the first annual $50 million. Cool. But then it's like, give me a second, y'all. He left that team. Instead of taking the money, he left that team to try to go get a ring with Kyrie and KD. That wasn't working. So let's go try to get a ring with Kawhi and PG. That ain't working. Let's go get a ring with Joel Embiid and whoever else over there. They winning. They killing right now.
Full stage god, and he was in Brooklyn. When James first got there, Kevin Durant got hurt. And who do you think was carrying them? Yeah. This man damn near averaged a triple-double and went 17-2 without KD in that stretch. Even in that first round in the playoffs, this man was giving us some of the most efficient, dominant James Harden basketball we ever seen. So again, with how fickle Kyrie Irving's status seemed to be at that time and everything they gave up to get James Harden, he had all the leverage. The Nets offered James Harden this contract in the summer of 2021. But remember, he just declined this contract from Houston. If he waited until the following summer, he could become the first $60 million annual man, and that's what he wanted. He declined that contract, and unfortunately for him, it backfired.
James still coming back from that hamstring injury, and he tallied just 14 points in the game, his third straight game, scoring 15 or fewer points. Dating back to last season, he's made fewer than 5 free throws in 8 consecutive games while averaging just over 16 points per game. Harden himself has said his offensive game is limited right now as he continues to make his way back from off-season spent rehabbing his hamstring.
The 2022 season for Harden was probably the worst since becoming the superstar version of James Harden that we got used to.
Man, I remember, man, they was dragging him through the dirt, man. He was dragging him through the mud, washed, overrated, all that. Then I think he went off in Philly.
For a multitude of things. One, this injury affected his offseason, and he spent that whole summer rehabbing. Obviously, that affects your conditioning and how you come into the new season, and we've seen that. Also that offseason, the NBA implemented this new James Harden foul baiting rule, and they were specifically hard on him to begin that year.
Previous season. So Harden has only attempted 9 free throws through 3 games this season.
Wow.
Let's put that into comparison. 3 seasons prior to this one, that's a big difference. In the same span last season, Harden already had taken...
So he was SGA before SGA was SGA. The original SGA, if you want to say so.
36, so 36-3.
No matter how much of a big deal we try to make it, a foul is a foul.
One free
it's pretty
throw
simple. I feel like putting too much emphasis on rules, or not even rules, just certain people.
But they was definitely targeting this nigga, bro. They definitely targeted.
Look at it as clear fouls, and but for me, you just got to keep going. No big deal.
Also, his team had this big-ass Kyrie Irving vaccine cloud over it, so everything seemed to be going left fast. Long story short, his leverage with Brooklyn and the contract he wanted mixed with his new play slowly began to vanish. And that was the end of his time with Brooklyn. 2 years ago, Bleacher Report dropped this article of the biggest bag fumbles of the last 10 years. James Harden is first, and this is why. When James first got to Philly, we'll consider that first half season a wash. But that 2022 summer, James did take a massive pay cut for Daryl Morey to essentially make that team the Houston 76ers. That money he lost, declining that Brooklyn contract,
they had Tobias Harris. You know what I'm saying? He's straight, decent. PJ Tucker, he a good role player. Tyrese Maxey, he always been a bucket. He wasn't as good as he is now, but he always been a bucket, you know. Yeah.
The Houston 76ers. That money he lost, declining that Brooklyn contract, and even going back to the Houston contract, he never got back. Bro, when he got offered both those contracts from Brooklyn and Houston, he was already on a deal. But this is what he would have made if he extended with Houston. This is what he would have made if he extended with Brooklyn. And this is what he ultimately ended up making, fucking with Daryl Morey. And this is why I think he's always
Dude missed out on 20. Don't butcher me in the chat, but it's like, what's that, like 15? I think he missed out on 15 millions. Oh, it's
contract
right here.
to this day.
15, 20 million. Ooh, I'll be sick. Yo, I'm gonna get an ad back when I get my ass. Don't worry about it. But imagine missing out on 15, 20. Imagine missing out on 15, 20 million.
The best group chats happen in real life.
Game so good. That he had to miss out on that. Indeed.
Guys, I'm told that James Harden is seriously considering a return to Houston in free agency this July if he does not if he decides against coming back to Philly.
I'm here. We're playing very.
That fit is atrocious, but he got fuck you money, so he can wear whatever the fuck you want. Ain't that right?
And yeah, I don't know where that report came from, but I'm excited to be here, and we're playing well, and we're continuing to get better.
I'll never forget Christmas Day 2022. Woj dropped this random ass bomb that James Harden was considering going to Houston in the summer. At the time, it felt random, it felt so damn left field, but in 2020 hindsight, it most definitely was not random. James Harden at that time, he had all the leverage. James Harden led the league in assists, Joel Embiid led the league in points. That duo looked insane, and Harden's value, looking for a new deal, mind you, was extremely evident. To me, this is why Doc Rivers saying this about James Harden probably had some merit to it. That all-star selection is crystal clear validation and confirmation as to how well he's been playing, seeking that new deal. That random Christmas Day report of him possibly going back to a tanking Houston team that had a lot of money wasn't that random. It seemed like a power move as to what can happen if Harden wasn't taken care of, which he ultimately wasn't, and he left.
Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Let me say it again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of either.
So now with the Clippers, last year, James Harden was like the 42nd highest paid player. This year, he's 30th behind Zach LaVine and Ja Morant. What's his value, and why does he deserve to still be paid? Well, going back to last year, these are the players with the most minutes in that span. This man is 36 years old. He's also one of 3 players that's top 10.
He moving like he young.
Points and assists in that span. Now, I kind of just spent a lot of time defending James Harden and kind of making sense of why James Harden has bounced around like he has. But if we're actually being honest, the only reason a video like this really exists is because of how James Harden performs in the playoffs. I said James Harden is the best honeymoon stage player ever, and he is. Even going back to Houston, these are his first 3 games with every single new team. We know this man will instantly show that team, bro, I'm James Harden. But unfortunately, in the last few games of that year, he will also show you, bro, I'm James Harden. In elimination games, since leaving Houston, amongst anybody that shoots with the volume James Harden does, he's one of the...
Man, call it what you want. Me personally, I feel like if James Harden had the proper help, then he would have been got a ring. But it's a simple fact. Destiny just keeps happening. Like, his co-stars get injured, or something goes on to where he's not playing how he should. It happens, bro.
He's efficient. Out of anybody, period, regardless of shots, James Harden has the lowest plus-minus in elimination games since leaving Houston. Again, this video isn't really to bash James Harden. It's really in defense of James Harden and understanding why he might move like he does.
Someone that trusts me, that believes in me, that understands me, that I'm just not I'm not a system player. I am a system. You know what I mean? So
if you guys like this video,
Hey, I like this video, so I'm gonna like this video. I already like the video. But no, let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Do y'all think that Cleveland has a chance at winning the NBA Finals now that they have James Harden? Me personally, they probably could. They got pretty far last year, so they ain't really got no, I ain't gonna say they ain't got no competition in the East. They got the Pistons. They get past the Pistons. They pretty much got it. But no, let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. I'm gonna catch you niggas in the next one. Yes, sir.